Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Troy Clayton, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Major Dale Cooper. We warmly welcome the family of Private Nathanael John Aubrey Galagher, whose story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Return and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Club Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family and visitors to the memorial. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Nathanael John Aubrey Galagher. Nathanael Galagher was born on the 14th of April 1989 in Wee Waa, New South Wales. The first child of Wayne, a shearer, and Sally, a bookkeeper. The family lived at Pilliga, about 60 kilometres southwest of Wee Waa. This part of the country, from Narrabri to Wee Waa and Pilliga, was where he grew up. A few years later, a sister, Eleanor, arrived. Nate, as Nathanael came to be known, attended Pilliga Public School. Outside of school, Nate enjoyed a variety of experiences and adventures growing up in the country. Weekends were spent pig hunting, horse riding, fishing, and hanging out with all his cousins. At primary school, Nate proved to be a talented young sportsman, excelling in athletics and swimming. He also did well in team sports such as cricket, and he played rugby league for the Wee Waa Panthers and district representative teams. When Nate was 10, the family moved to Forbes, where he completed his schooling and continued with sports. By this stage, he was also excelling at cross-country running. Since he was a boy, Nate was set upon becoming a soldier. After completing his high school certificate in 2006, he joined the Australian Army on the 22nd of October 2007. After initial training at Kapuka, Nate was posted to the 1st Battalion, Royal Australian Regiment. He did his first tour of Afghanistan between September 2009 and February 2010. In early 2011, he met Jessie Feeney, who was also serving in the Army, and they started dating. Keen to achieve more as a soldier, Nate spent most of 2011 doing the Commando selection and training course. His physical fitness and mental toughness saw him pass with relative ease, and by November he had joined the 2nd Commando Unit. He was thrilled and proud to receive his Commando Green Beret. By July 2012, after further training with his new unit, Nate was set for his 2nd tour of Afghanistan. Earlier that year, he learned that Jessie was pregnant, expecting a baby boy. Nate was very happy about becoming a father. In 2 Commando Regiment, Lance Corporal Merv MacDonald took Nate under his wing. The 30-year-old veteran of 5 previous tours of Afghanistan, Merv was generous in sharing his experiences. As they left for service, Merv said to Jessie, "Don't worry, Jess, I'll bring him home." In Afghanistan, Nate was part of the drug enforcement element, making regular raids via helicopter, targeting Taliban drug making and distribution activities. As well as drugs, they often discovered caches of weapons and explosives. One operation was scheduled for the early hours of the 30th of August 2012 in Helmand Province. Nate was part of a 6-man team of Australians being flown onto its objective in a US Marine Corps Huey Venom helicopter. Shortly after 2 a.m, the men descended towards their landing zone. Merv MacDonald and Nate Galagher were sitting on the right-hand door ready to step off. The pilots, however, using night vision goggles, lost orientation and missed the landing zone. Not realising how close to the ground they were, a dense dust cloud from the rotor downdraft further hampered the pilots. The chopper then drifted to the right and the rotor blades struck a ridgeline, causing the chopper to pitch over and crash onto its right-hand side. Merv MacDonald and Nate Galagher were thrown or fell to the ground with the chopper landing on top of them. The survivors, some badly injured, frantically tried to get to the aircraft and get it off them, but it was too heavy. Trapped beneath, Merv and Nate died. Their remains were brought to Australia and honoured in a ramp ceremony led by the then Defence Force Chief, General David Hurley, at the RAF base at Richmond. Nate's funeral service was held at St John's Anglican Church in Pilliga, and he was buried in Pilliga Cemetery. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, among the 47 Australians who have died during or as a result of their service in Afghanistan. Nate is fondly remembered by family, friends and comrades, and he had an irrepressible attitude and was always keen to get the job done. Easygoing by nature, he never had a bad word to say about anyone. His love for his family was apparent to all. Living his dream as an Australian Army Commando, Nate was an enthusiastic, capable soldier who was respected by his comrades. Nate lived by his personal motto, don't be afraid to go after what you want. Do what you love and love what you do. But don't be afraid to face the consequences and be willing to pay the price. Nate Galagher was 23 years old when he died serving his country. His son Jack was born 3 months later. His photograph is displayed today at the front of the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Nathanael John Aubrey Galagher, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
If you're able, please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We'll remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub of Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support during the Memorial's development project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening. Thank you.